then pull back. So just like, you know, ask them a question. Hey, this might be a dumb question, but I'm just curious. And it drops their guard. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to protect the home and family? Obviously, everybody's going to be like, oh, well, it's obviously pretty important. Common one that you'll get is like, oh, someone's always home. And then I'll say like, yeah, well, obviously it would suck either way, but would you rather somebody break in while your family's home or while they're away from the house? And then it gets them thinking, like, obviously nobody wants to be home when a burglar's in the house. Because no one wants that confrontation of someone like coming in.
Nobody wants either of those.
Even if it's like a big, even if it's a big, like, you know, guy and he likes that, like, he doesn't actually want that. No one wants to kill anybody.
Y'all think this doesn't happen, but like I've knocked into hoods where like they were sitting out the front on the porch, someone ran up to them with a gun, whole family was home, dogs in the house, guns right next to the door, and the crook came in the house with a gun to the guy's head, robbed him, broad daylight, and this was a nice hood, cleaned him out, and went into the car, and it was an electric car. He didn't know how to start it, he pushed the ignition to steal their car as well, and he didn't know it was on, so he kept pushing the button, and they shot him in the car. And like, they went to court, they lost all their guns because there was a court investigation, and it was crazy. It's like, y'all will talk yourselves out of an objection, like, oh yeah, people are home, like, oh, I don't
do not believe people. Yesterday, I was starting to buy into it, because I had everyone in my head like, oh, look, in 40 years, nothing ever happened, nothing ever happened, nothing ever happens. Boom, I walked down the street, they're like, 6 months ago, someone hopped in the fence, shot my neighbor, broke in the house, shot my neighbor, and left.
Yeah,
and the people in the neighborhood were saying nothing ever happened there.
Lies.
I'm like, you guys are like, yeah, it pissed me off.
Yeah. Or another one is like, oh, well, we have the dogs, so we don't really need security. Something I'll say is like, well, yeah, obviously dogs are part of the family. You wouldn't want anything to happen to them. We protect them too because we know how important they are to you. So that way it's like,
that's fine.
Yeah, but the smoke detectors you guys have, they're really good for when you're home because obviously you'll hear them. If you're not at the house here, I don't know. I have a German Shepherd. I haven't been able to teach her how to dial 911. I guess her paws are too big. But yeah, with the smoke detector we do, we put your pets in the system. That way the fire department knows to get them out. So that way, obviously they want to protect their dogs. They don't want anything to happen to them. And if you have to get a little bit more, like if they're still hitting on it, be like, if for a burglar, when they're coming into your house, obviously they're going to eliminate whatever noise is.
That's what I tell people. Like, the first thing they're going to do is take care of the dog. Like,
right. The first thing they're going to do is take care of the dog. Now, you don't want to say that, like, don't say that on the door, or if you haven't built enough, like, rapport or, like, credibility with your customer, because they'll just slam the door on you, and you can kind of put up a wall. But if you're, like, sitting down and you're closing with them, you can say that. Obviously, don't say it in a super confrontational way.
Yeah, obviously he's a part of family, he's not just a trained attack weapon.
Right. Like, and then you can even say, like, I mean, even when I came in here, he just wanted to lick me to death. He didn't want to bite me, right? So that way, you kind of pull them out, pull their head out their ass for them. So that way, you can get them on your side. And then after I'll say something like that, that's when I usually try to, like, give an ace. Be like, look, obviously you didn't make an appointment with me today. We're asking for your help. I still need you to keep that sign out for me and just don't brag about the price. But what I can do, I can just pay for the first month, or I can give you that extra camera that you were looking at. I just can't have you tell the neighbors about it. And then they're like, oh, okay, because then it's more special to them. And then they're a lot more likely to close. So that way,
they can't be mad at you,
right?
Because you just
it's kind of like the sandwich that Mike was talking about. Slap them in the face, do something nice for them, and then close them, right? Mm-hmm. So that way they feel a lot better because there's nothing wrong with like, you know, being pushy or persistent, I guess you could say, because people really do need this. So, you know, just pull their head out there, ask for them. And it's like, I'm sure you're well aware of the crime that's going on in the area. Use assumptive language. Because you're advertising for us tomorrow, we're paying for it today. The best part about it is that everybody wants it. With the way crime is going, how the neighborhood has been, everybody needs it. And because of that, the way we do our program, everybody can afford it. And this is my favorite part of the engaging questions. We only have the budget for 2 homes per street, so we only want to work with people that are serious about protecting your home. On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious do you think you are about the security of your home? So get people to kind of engage into the system, like get them to buy into the program that we're doing. Because if you can get them to buy in, you have a lot better chance, or you have a lot of a chance of them signing up.
Maybe like a 5.
Well, it's almost like
You'd say like a 5?
tell me why I should give this system to you. Almost like
So if someone broke into your house 10 times, you'd be okay with them getting in like 5?
5 times. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say you're like a 5, Mike?
Yeah, like 5.
Okay. What do you think we'd have to do to get you up to a 10? Like what's one of your concerns?
I mean, I don't know. If I was gonna do it, I was gonna do cameras like all around, yeah.
Cameras all around?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Usually with the program that we do, we're only paying for 2.
Okay.
I mean, are you pretty good at keeping secrets, Mike?
You can see.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright, well my boss is gonna be pissed. What I can do is I can put that third camera for you in the back. Just don't go tell like your buddies that we paid for the extra camera, because then I'll get screwed. Okay?
And then boom, you could also use that for financing, because what do I have on there? A $6 activation. So back pocket, hey, if we kept the price the same and give you an extra camera, would you do it? Yes. Boom, add another camera, waive the activation, price is the exact same. You still have a back pocket close.
Make money on the back.
And money on the back.
And you make more on the back.
Yeah.
So, your activation is $6 on financing. A camera is $6 to the bill.
Money.
Add the camera, waive the activation. Price is the exact same, they get the third camera.
And then
Get a great
you
still get paid.
You still make $28 because you get paid $8 for the 6 points.
Yep.
So after we get through like asking the questions in assumptive language, like I'm sure you would use it if you had it. And I'll even do a pullback of like, obviously ADT doesn't want to pay for this if you're not going to use it. If we pay for this for you, like are you going to use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would use it if we had it. Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, since you didn't schedule an appointment with me, what I can do is I'll just pay for the first 3 months for you, so that way you don't have to pay the bill until August. When the alarm goes off, who do we call? You or the boss. So after I identify what the issue is, I solve it with my ACE, and then I will go right back to closing. So that way we're not sitting and just circling on that, because then they're going to talk themselves out of it.
No,
We just go right back into those soft closes. It's those little things that's going to either make or break the sale.
And I like that question too, if we pay for it, but we usually have use it. Okay, what about it would you like having?
Yeah, you can add that on there.
And then then they have to tell you
Yeah.
what they're gonna use.
Yeah, and then what you can do is you can build value on that, and then say,
Time
obviously,
down to it.
yeah, build value on it, so then that temperature goes back up too. So yeah, that's good. I like that.
Just make sure after you say a good line like that, move on.
Yeah.
Don't spin it in circles, man.
Yeah, don't let the tires spin.
Move
Um,
on.
and then think it over, our favorite one. So go over this one. So yeah, first you want to acknowledge it. Yeah, absolutely. I know you guys want to think it over. I want to make sure. That's totally understandable. I want to make sure you feel good about this decision. In all reality though, most people who want to think it over don't think about it. That's because there's unanswered questions. So ask me a question. Or get them to say, try to identify what they want to look over. So a common one that you'll get is, oh, we just want to look over our budget. Like, we got to make sure we can fit it in and everything like that. And if you're sitting down and you're closing with them, so now you know that what the issue is now you know that it's a price issue. So usually when they say they want to think it over, it's just something that you haven't explained enough yet, or something that they have a question or a concern about. So you want to try to isolate what it is, because if you solve everything, most people, there's nothing to look over, right? So if they give you think it over, oh, we got to make sure we can fit it in our budget, you go back to price, and then and then acknowledge it and overcome it.
How would you do that?
How would I do that?
How would you do the price objection?
If you give me a price objection,
Mm-hmm.
so go right back up here, and then
Yeah.
you do everything that it says.
Perfect, yeah, so you would isolate the objection.
Isolate it.
So perfect, so Kyle, aside from the price, is there anything else that you're holding back to do it? Like you like the product, you like the service and everything like that?
Yeah, we just got to make sure we can fit it in our budget.
Yep, and I'm sure if you had your priorities listed out, safety for your home and family is probably number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if you looked over your budget, do you eat out at all? You go to Starbucks or anything like that?
We go to like Chick-fil-A.
One meal at Chick-fil-A for your family, if you do that one less a week, you just open the budget to protect your family. You drink Starbucks, okay, that's $6 every single day. 6 times $30, that's $300. If you go to Starbucks twice a week less, you're gonna be able to afford the security system.
Yeah.
So when you look over your budget, you have priorities, you're definitely gonna be able to fit this into your budget. If I came back tomorrow and charged you for $2,000 for all the equipment, you might have to think about that a little bit. But because we're waiving all of that, we take care of the price, you have the best product because it's we partner with Google, and you have the best service for ADT. So we make sure we do all the thinking for you. And then I can also use that email so you get a discount on that. What was the email for it?
There you go.
Damn.
That's money.
I hope this is being recorded. Yeah, so basically exactly what Mike just said. He stole the words right out of my mouth.
Learn from your training.
Huh? You learned from my
Your training.
training? Let's go.
Isolate, overcome, move on.
Yeah, isolate, overcome, close. So yeah. And then here it says right here, so identify what it is, resolve it. So if it's cheaper competition, like Simply Safe's like $30 a month. Yeah, obviously it's just like, I mean, you get what you pay for. With Simply Safe, it's a Wi-Fi based system, so if your Wi-Fi goes out, the entire system stops working. So what are you really paying for at that point? Also, what they can do is if a burglar got into the home and they unplug your hub, then your entire security system goes down. With ADT, it has the smash and grab technology, so even if they smash your panel, it'll send a code to ADT to automatically send the cops.
There's a close about that, like it's cheaper. It's the parachute close. It's like, yeah, I mean, this is your house, this is where you live, this is where your well-being is. We could compare it to jumping out of a plane. Your life is at risk here. Are we gonna go buy the cheapest parachute that you can find? And it might do the job, maybe? Or do you wanna buy the nicest parachute that money can buy to protect your life? Like, it's up to you. I mean, if you wanna take that chance, it's fine. But I know for me, I'm buying the nice parachute.
That's the cash one. And the other thing you can tie into is even if your keynotes, what does this say right here? Life safety. So hey, this product is about like life safety. Like these products can potentially save your kid's life, save your pet's life. So yeah, it's just like buying a parachute. Would you buy a parachute on the closeout rack? Okay, like yeah, and then use Zach's line exactly. But then you can even use the keynote too, because then it's like it shows it right there too.
The best part about our program is you get the best parachute because you're advertising for us, we make it affordable. And it's like, so yeah, normally you would have to pay a lot of money for this protection, you know.
Bam.
What's a credit card?
Boom.
And what's a parachute?
Yeah,
Boom, snitch.
and then
Buying a parachute today?
yeah, and then another one that a common one that we all hear is like, oh well, we already have the cameras. And then that just means you haven't built enough value on the alarm system. When you emotionally connect somebody to the alarm, they're going to be a lot more likely to want to get it. So that's another thing is building building value, but like emotionally connecting them. One of the things that I always do is I explain that they can automatically dispatch police, fire, medical to the house. Another thing that I do is I use the safety code, so if somebody ever comes in and puts a gun through your head, you can type in the safety code, so that way it'll automatically dispatch the police without the burglar knowing. And that just builds so much like emotional value because then it's part of painting the picture. It puts in their head that these situations are possible, and so that way now they feel like they have a problem and then you have the solution to it. So that way, if you ever have like a issue with them being like, oh, well, just the cameras would be fine, then you just haven't built enough value on the actual alarm system. So make sure you're actually getting in the house, painting the picture, and explaining all of the equipment, because that's when that closing ratio is also going to go up, is when you can get inside and do all of that, and get in there and go over that. And then another big thing that we'll go over really quickly is just the assumptive language. So I know I was working with a few of the rookies, and it's like, you guys like are if and possibly and those kind of words, and like maybe, would you be interested, like that kind of stuff. Like assume the sale all the way through. So like when we get the sign in the yard, when we pay for this, when my technician gets here, assume the sale. And so that way, when you assume the sale, it shows that you're confident, and the customer will feed off of that. And then that way, if you're just like, oh well, if you guys keep it out for us, or like, would you want that camera there maybe? And then it kind of takes away from your professionalism.
Your camera, your alarm,
Yeah.
your panel right
When
here.
we put your camera right here next to your motion light, that kind of stuff right there, that's gonna help kind of solidify the deal. So say like yours, and then they take ownership of it, because you're saying that it's theirs already. And then like some of these substantive languages, or like soft closes, is kind of like, I like this one a lot. Tomorrow at work, when you're looking at your camera and your coworker Jimmy walks by and he sees it, that's how our program works, because then he's going to look into doing cameras himself. And that kind of stuff right there, that'll help a lot. I can send this out to everybody so you guys can look over it too. Do you guys have any questions or anything extra that you guys feel like you needed work on?
Yeah, guys, so for rookies, like Brian's recording all this stuff, like if you want to get better, Kyle dropped like 50 dimes on us today, or we all nodded our head. You're not going to remember all of them. So go back, be diligent, treat this like a profession, and like hit your sales manuals, watch the training videos, practice, all that stuff you guys need to be doing if you're going to want to level up.
And that's one of the other big things one of the things that I did when I was a rookie, like I didn't have an Xbox or PlayStation or anything. Like when you're getting home from work, like if you're not happy with your numbers up here, when you're getting home from work, like screw the Xbox, screw the PlayStation, go and train and practice with somebody, because when you do that and you put the extra time in, and then you understand it better, that's what's gonna get you to the next level, selling like the guys at the top up here, not like playing the Xbox or PlayStation or whatever you do. Just work with somebody, even if it's for 30 minutes, an hour. Like it's not gonna hurt you to put in that extra time, because the results will pay off.
And do you guys all have these training manuals? You get sent to you?
Some super tough.
Alright, I'll put it in the group.
It's also good to get ahead of those bad habits.
I got something real quick. So we are on 59 installs. We got to be 83. Hand up if you got one that needs to get clicked over. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Say 5. So we're at about, let's just say, low 60s. So we need to do 20 over the next 2 days. So let's kill it.
Let's do it today. Let's do 20 today.
Let's do 20 today. Yeah, let's do 20 today.
We got that.
Let's be dinner go. Let's be dinner go.
Mike,
Mike P.
Dear God, I just want to thank you for this day. I want to give us all a good day of knocking on doors. I pray everybody's safe out there, and we all get to there. Amen.
Yes, sir. In Mike T's name. We all gotta get 2 today.